So back outside. Let's go and chat with Varric now. See what he has to say.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
I can barely keep up.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
That makes two of us. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
Why did you stay?
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
It hasn't sunk in yet.
I'm still not sure I believe any of this is really happening.
If this is all just the Maker winding us up, I hope there's a damn good punchline coming. You might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky... that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
Okay.
Need something?
I have questions about Hawke.
I read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
What happened to Anders?
What happened to the mage who destroyed the Kirkwall Chantry? The book never said.
He fled Kirkwall with the mages from the Circle. Stayed with them a while, but he had to move on. Somehow a lot of mages blamed him for making them live as fugitives. I don't know where he is now, and I don't want to know.
Orsino's fate made no sense.
In the book, you say that first enchanter Orsino turned himself into a giant monster made of corpses. How? Why?
Do I look like an expert on magical weirdness to you? Well, I can't tell you how. For the why, all I can say is he was desperate.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. So he made up the Arishok.
There's no way Hawke really could have killed the Arishok. It would have started a war with the Kunari.
I was told later that the Kunari disavowed his actions. Apparently the Arishok didn't get permission before he attacked Kirkwall, and the Qun didn't want another exalted march. When they finally sent a ship to haul the Red Dreadnought away, they just said, "We will never speak of this again." As far as I can tell, that's the Qun's version of an apology.
Where are Hawke's friends?
Where are the rest of Hawke's associates now?
Meryl decided to look after the elves left homeless by the fighting. She's done a pretty good job of keeping them away from the mages and Templars, so far. I guess she has plenty of practice avoiding stupid human battles with her old Dalish clan. Fenris has kept himself busy, hunting down the Tevinter slavers who came south to prey on the refugees. I'm not sure exactly where he is at the moment. You can usually follow the trail of corpses, though. Isabella went back to the raiders. She's calling herself an admiral now. I don't know if she's actually in charge or just has a really big hat. Might be the same thing, honestly. Sebastian went back to Starkhaven. I'm sure he's boring all sorts of people there. Last I knew, Hawke's sister Bethany was doing something wardening near the Anderfell's border. Aveline is still guard captain. I'm pretty sure Kirkwall would fall into the sea if she quit her job.
Okay, so I loved getting all that information. Yeah. These games are just so good. Like, the fact that we can continue our storyline still impresses me so much.
Need something?
I thought I answered everything about Hawke. Tell me about Red Lyrium.
The red lyrium we found at the temple seemed to upset you.
My brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered red lyrium during an expedition in the deep roads. We located an ancient thaig, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
What is it exactly?
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's not just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
What can it do?
What makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid, and then it does creepy shit. Makes things float, brings statues to life. It also turned Kirkwall's Knight Commander to lyrium. Everyone's been kept at least 100 paces from it since.
Why was it in the temple?
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I don't know. So as far as I knew, the only piece to make it to the surface was destroyed. And the location of the thaig it came from is a secret. Did someone find more of it in the deep roads? That's not a cheery thought.
That's enough for now, I guess.
I think that's enough on red lyrium.
I wish there was like a way to
Yeah,
get back to the main
not really
conversation
my
without
favorite
exiting
subject.
it. And coming back in.
Need
Oh,
something?
so we got a new quest from that. Okay, I have a personal question.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
How do you know Cassandra?
How do you and Cassandra know each other?
You heard about the Kirkwall Chantry being destroyed? The guy responsible used to be a friend of mine. The Seeker had questions about that, and I had answers.
Where are you from?
Are you from Ferelden? Orlais?
Free marches, born and raised in Kirkwall. And despite whatever you've heard, no, Kirkwall's not that bad.
So we're both from the Free Marches. What do you do?
I'm not clear on your line of work. You're a merchant?
I'm a businessman. My family has a seat in the Dwarven Merchants
Businessman.
Guild. Merchants buy and sell goods. Businessmen buy and sell stores. In my spare time, I manage a spy network, and occasionally, I write books.
So could you do Liliana's
If
job?
you run a spy network, why is Liliana our spy master?
To be honest with you, she's just a better spy master. The truly great ones can keep their distance. They don't get attached to their people. Me, I always wind up babysitting my informants and worrying about their families. We're in better hands with her.
What books do you write?
You're an author. What kind of books have you written?
I've tried my hands at a few genres. My crime serials are my most popular. Hard in Hightown, guards breaking the rules to get things done. The Tale of the Champion is the most famous thing I've written, or infamous maybe. I started a romance serial once, Swords and Shields, but to be honest, I don't have a knack for romances. Most of my stories
Swords
end
and
in
Shields.
tragedy. Probably that says something unfortunate about me personally.
I cannot even imagine Varric writing a romance. Okay, what shops do you own?
What sort of shops do you own?
Actually, we don't own shops. That was just an example. Mostly we invest in money lenders. Auction houses, a few mercenary companies, a couple of smithies. I think we own half a beet plantation in Ravane somewhere. Most of that's my brother's doing. Bartrand had business sense. Not much tact, but loads of business sense.
Tell me about the crossbow.
Where did you get that crossbow? I've never seen one like it.
Bianca? She's one of a kind. There's a hidden shop in Kirkwall called the Black Emporium. I found her in a barrel labeled swag. The owner sold her to me for a ham sandwich and a pair of yellow ruffled pants.
Why Bianca?
Who is she named for?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
And the reason for that is?
Complicated. It's the one story I'll never tell. We just have to leave it at that.
Okay, that's all for
Thanks,
now.
Varric.
No problem.
So I think that was everything Varric had to say. Okay, let me get rid of that quest really quick. This is probably gonna get really annoying to remove all the quests and stuff, but maybe like when I'm actually starting to do things I'll have it, but when I'm just like running around town talking to people, I don't want that on. So, have I seen everything up here? Is there anything behind this building? Yeah, okay. Oh, elf fruit. Okay. Gather herbs and metals out in the wild and use them to craft upgrades to your gear and potions. Explore and find as many varieties as you can. Okay.
With passioned breath does the darkness creep. It is the whisper in the night, the lie upon your sleep.
Still got demons pouring out of the rifts.
I thought so. There must be a bunch of other rifts. Since she said rift in the plural. Okay, this is where I woke up.
Passioned breath does the darkness. It is the whisper in the night, the lie upon your sleep.
Nothing in here.
I spoke with Commander Cullen.
A learned child is a blessing
apologise.
upon his parents. With passioned breath
Nothing.
does the darkness
Now, Scout Lane, what can you tell me of
It is
Ricky?
the whisper in
The
the
mages
night,
have been quiet since their attack on the Conclave.
Their attack? Do you have information confirming that the mages were responsible?
Well, I had a
Sorry,
feeling-
my cell phone is
Don't.
going off.
Our job is to acquire actionable information. Assumptions can lead you to overlook something vital.
You built
We'll need some of your cloth for bandages.
And how much is Mother Giselle willing to offer?
Can you really put a price on the love of Andraste?
As a gardener watches the earth for the first signs of
Good
life.
day. Or good as it can be with the sky ripped apart.
Why have you stayed?
What kind of person stays to run a shop at a time like this?
Kind with nowhere else to go. Those blasted demons destroyed most of my goods. If I stay here, work some contacts, I can start rebuilding. Maybe, just maybe, help you folks out in the process.
How is the mood here?
You must speak with most everyone here. How are people doing?
Hope and fear in equal measure. No one really knows what it means when an Inquisition is called. Yet. I imagine it's no better for you. You've got my sympathies, for what it's worth.
It's worth a lot, actually. I'd like to buy something.
Can I see what you have for sale?
Of course. My wares are at the table.
Okay. Oh, I already have quite a bit of gold. Bianca. I don't really want to buy anything right now. I'm just checking out how all this works. Okay. So it looks like we have some kind
I
of...
see why we need to build siege equipment. We're not laying siege to anything.
That's an excellent point, Recruit.
Okay,
But if
siege
someone
equipment.
comes to lay siege to us, perhaps it will be best for us to have some means to fight back.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, so... let's read. Siege equipment in Thedas. Siege weaponry has been used in Thedas for centuries, with primitive equipment used as far back as the Third Blight. Nevertheless, it occupies a peculiar niche in the tools of warfare due to its requirements. An army wishing to produce trebuchets or catapults must be funded and organized well enough to procure both the necessary materials and the military experts to construct them. Throughout history, most armies who fulfilled such requirements did not take advantage of the situation. During the Third Blight, for example, Arlesians and Montsemar constructed catapults to fling flaming debris at the Darkspawn, but the expense of the weapons did not justify the limited damage they caused, and the Darkspawn were ultimately driven back by the Grey Wardens, not siege weaponry. Tevinter forces similarly had the resources to construct siege weapons when attacking the Free Marchers or defending themselves against the exalted marches of the Black Age. Instead, the Imperium focused primarily upon the power of its magisters, who were less powerful but more flexible than siege equipment, and who could more easily fall back when the tide of battle turned. As a result, in battles against the Qunari in the Steel Age, generals found to their chagrin that the Great Oxman had left them behind. Qunari black powder is, most military experts agree, not magic. It is merely an advanced alchemy that makes their cannons more effective than trebuchets ever could be. Nevertheless, there remains hope. As centuries have passed since the last blight, and mages are now freely held in the circles where they harm none, the experts of Ferelden and Orlais may once again turn their great minds to learning. We need no magic, not where the minds of men survive unfettered. With our resources and our commitment to knowledge, we can easily surpass the brutal Qunari on the field of battle. Okay. Interesting. Anything out here? Yeah. Nug skin. Like nug hunting. Can I go up here? No. Okay, so I guess that's it for this side.
Who are we fighting anyway, sir? I've heard it was mages, demons. No one really knows.
That's the Maker's truth. All you need to know is that we're holding this place against whoever comes to take it.
Okay. So I still haven't found Cassandra yet. Or the smith.
Come to me, child, and I shall embrace you in my arms.
Here, tell Mother Giselle that this is as much as I can spare.
It looks so pretty, and I know that I'm not supposed to like that, but I think it looks really nice. Okay, so I can't hear what they're saying. This must be the smith over
If
here.
the Inquisition wants to field a decent cavalry, it needs better horses. I heard Seeker Pentecost might try to acquire suitable mounts from Master Dennett in the hinterlands.
Oh, and who are you to be fishing around for what the higher-ups are doing?
Back in Angsburg, my uncle was 5th Praetor.
And what's that mean for you back in Arnsberg?
Honestly, about as much as it does here.
Okay. So I can modify armor. I'm gonna loot this really quickly. Craft weapons. Modify weapons. Is that it? Craft armor. Buy, sell. Okay. And Harriet, I'm assuming you are the smith.
Expected you'd be by. I'm Harriet, and everyone knows who you are. How's the new gear fit?
This lady's awkwardly in the middle of our conversation. I'm gonna be polite and say quite well.
Sturdy and warm. It's perfect.
Good. World's gone mad. Stock armor and blades are good against bandits, but we're not fighting bandits. My gear will see you through demons, apostates, whatever this world throws at you. So, you need custom work, something special. You bring the materials to us, we'll make it
Is that
happen.
a nug that just ran down the hill? What's your story?
How did you come to be here?
Come from a little town called Lothring. Long gone now. I was in Redcliffe when the Darkspawn hit it during the Blight. Helped rebuild. Left when royalty decided it was time to hand the place over to the bloody mages. Ended up here. Just missed the boom. Can't decide if I'm the luckiest son of a bitch walking or the exact opposite.
Yeah, I'm gonna say lucky.
You're still walking. That's always good.
True enough.
He already told me what a story was. Okay, so I guess sometimes things aren't gonna go away. So what can you make here?
What can you and your team make here?
Arms and armor. We work iron to blighted dragonbone if you've got it. Our designs are simple, but they get the job done. You want something fancy? Bring your own design. We'll see what we can do.
Do you outfit the troops?
Who outfits the Inquisition soldiers?
Not me. I've got work to do. Can't be passing a sword to every blighter who signs up. If you want to help the troops, talk to Thren, the quartermaster. She'll set up requisitions.
Do you need my materials?
Does the Inquisition not have supplies to make armor or weapons?
Tough convincing traders to haul up here. Impossible to get them to risk the rare stuff, so that's on you.
Okay, so can you improve my equipment?
Can you help improve my arms and armor?
Yes. You find a new piece, a pauldron or greaves, we'll take care of you. You can't just slap a new hilt on your sword in the field. Bring it here, we'll make sure it's done right and proper.
Okay, do you have any designs?
If I want something, what can you make?
Start simple. Something to keep you safe.
Requires schematics.
Take a look at it on the table there and we can talk. You'll need materials. We should have what you want just outside.
Okay, I think I've said everything.
Goodbye.
Right.
So, I need to make armor. That's weapons. Craft armor was over here. Okay. So, crafting. To craft new armor or weapons, you need a schematic and enough materials. The schematic determines the appearance and potential power of the crafted item. The materials determine the specific stats and powers that will be added to the new item. Okay. So I need 7 leather and 4 leather. Okay.
You need something, let me know.
And I must remove this, quest. It's bothering me. Okay. Let's see if there's anything down here. Oh, they are nugs.
One down!
Oh, I was aggressive about that. So I guess this is how I get my leather, by killing these cute little nugs. Oh, I don't like the noise they make when they die. I feel bad. How come he doesn't have any leather? Okay. I guess I can't have any more than that. So I guess that's it for that direction. So I guess I'm kind of going to be running around and collecting things for a bit, since I need leather. Oh, iron. Okay. So I think I needed that for the requisition for the weapons. Some more. Okay, so I have all the iron that I need. Everything looks so good. So I guess this is the bridge that I was on earlier. Oh, I guess reading causes me to level up. That's nice to know. Okay, so I can't go out this way. So since I've leveled up, I guess I need to... Oh, I see a nug. I need to go kill that. Even though I feel really bad when you make that little squeal when you die. Aww. He doesn't have anything either. Okay. Where'd that nug go? More iron. I guess we'll go down to the lake. See if there's anything down here that we need. More elf fruit. I'm really impressed so far with how expansive everything is. It's much more expansive than I thought it was going to be. So that's exciting. I guess there's not really anything down here that I need. So we'll come back up. I'm still looking for Cassandra. I haven't seen her yet. Oh, there she is.
Oh.
Okay, so I think my character is going to probably be a pretty big flirt until she decides on who she's going to be in a relationship with, so expect a lot of flirting out of her.
You're kind of a force of nature, aren't you?
When I need to be.
It's impressive.
You flatter me.
I'm trying.
Did I do the right thing? What I have set in motion here could destroy everything I have revered my whole life. One day they may write about me as a traitor, a madwoman, a fool, and they may be right.
What do you believe?
What does your faith tell you?
I believe you are innocent. I believe more is going on here than we can see. And I believe no one else cares to do anything about it. They will stand in the fire and complain that it is hot. But is this the Maker's will? I can only guess.
So you don't think I'm chosen?
You don't
I don't
think
think
I'm the
I'm
herald
chosen.
of Andraste?
I think you were sent to help us. I hope you were. But the Maker's help takes many forms. Sometimes it's difficult to discern who it truly benefits, or how.
What happens next?
What's going to happen now?
Now, we deal with the Chantry's panic over you before they do even more harm. Then we close the breach. We are the only ones who can. After that, we find out who is responsible for this chaos, and we end them. And if there are consequences to be paid for what I have done, I pay them. I only pray the price is not too high.
Oh, that was a great shot right there through the practice dummy. So you had to do it.
You didn't have any choice.
Didn't I? My trainers always said, Cassandra, you are too brash. You must think before you act. I see what must be done, and I do it. I see no point in running around in circles like a dog chasing its tail. But I misjudged you in the beginning, did I not? I thought the answer was before me, clear as day. I cannot afford to be so careless again.
You had cause.
It wasn't like you had no reason to suspect me.
I was determined to have someone answer for what happened. Anyone. You've said you don't believe you're chosen. Does that mean you also don't believe in the Maker?
I'm gonna say, because I don't believe I'm the Herald of Andraste, so I'm not a believer, but I'm not sure that I don't believe, so I'm gonna go with I don't know.
I can't really say.
I suppose it doesn't matter now. I have to believe we were put on this path for a reason, even if you do not. Now it simply remains to see where it leads us.
Okay, let's see what else she has to say.
It occurs to me I don't actually know much about you.
What do you want to know?
I'm not sure. Where are you from?
You don't know?
I thought you knew that.
I suppose I could ask Liliana. She has collected a frightening amount of information on you. But I don't want to ask her. I want to hear it from you.
I guess I'll just tell her.
I was born in Ostwick, and that's where most of my family is.
The Trevellians, is it not? A large clan with a rather clever coat of arms. Tell me, do you consider the Free Marches your home? Are you eager to go back?
Okay, so now I want to know what my coat of arms is, if it's just clever, because I'm not even sure what it is. I need to look into that. I guess I'll say eventually, perhaps.
I might, once this is done.
It will not be the same once you do.
Tell me about yourself.
I'd like to get to know you better.
You would?
Is that a problem?
Not entirely. I'm just curious as to your motivation.
I'll say I'd like us to be closer.
Is there any harm in us becoming a little closer?
Plenty.
Oh, she doesn't like that.
Is that right?
As you wish. My name is Cassandra Pentecost, daughter of the Royal House of Navarra, 78th in line for the Navarran throne. I joined the Seekers of Truth as a young woman, and was with the Order until they withdrew from the Chantry. I remained as the Divine's right hand, carrying out her order to form the Inquisition. And here we are. That's all there is to know, my lady.
So you're Navarran royalty?
You're a member of Navarra's royal family.
The Pentecosts are a very large clan. Half of Cumberland could say the same.
Really?
No, but it feels that way. I have hundreds of relatives so distant they need charts to prove we're related at all. And they have them. Oh yes. The Pentecosts value their precious blood like it runs with gold.
So is that why you left?
And you joined the Seekers to get away from that?
It was a life worth getting away from. The Pentecosts are famed for dragon hunting, but few actually pursue the craft. Most are fat and lazy. They pay lip service to the Maker and care only for idle pleasures and past glories. My brother was all that kept me in Navarra. Once he was gone, so was I.
Yeah, what happened to your brother?
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another time, perhaps.
Okay, so then tell me about Navarra.
You don't seem to like your homeland much.
My family polluted it for me. What little I saw of my homeland was through the bars of a gilded cage. My uncle treated me like a porcelain doll to be placed on a shelf and dusted only when necessary. Thus I did not see Navarra, the real Navarra, until much later. By then I realized I knew it not at all.
What about your parents?
Your uncle? What about your parents?
They had the misfortune of taking the wrong side in the second attempt to overthrow King Marcus. The king executed them, but spared my brother and I since we were family, and killed him at the time. Thus we were raised by my uncle, a Mortalitasi who preferred the company of his corpses to the living.
Yeah, Mortalitasi?
Your uncle was a Mortalitasi?
A death mage. He still is.
Death
My countrymen
mage?
do not burn the dead. They bury them in special crypts. The Mortalitasi supervise the crypts, like priests. Uncle Vestalis oversees the grand necropolis. Nevarans spend more time honoring dead relatives than they do with living ones. It is odd to be so fascinated with death and its trappings. I will never understand it.
I don't remember any death mages from before, so that's interesting. So you worked for the Divine?
So you were the right hand to the Divine?
To Divine Justinia, yes. And Divine Beatrix before her, in fact. The position is normally reserved for Templars of the Knights Divine, but my circumstances were unusual.
Unusual how?
You don't know the story? Thank the Maker. I will tell you if you wish, but it isn't as exciting as some drum it up to be. The short version is that I once saved the previous Divine's life. My reward was becoming her right hand.
What is a right hand?
But what does a right hand do, exactly?
What is your hand capable of? It gives, it takes, it beckons. It makes a fist. Liliana and I extended the Divine's reach beyond the Grand Cathedral. We went where she could not. After Beatrix, I was tired of the position and wanted to return to the Seekers. But Justinia convinced me to stay. Her vision for the future gave me hope.
You believed in her.
You thought she could really change things?
Justinia knew the war was coming long before it began. She tried to avert it, but the forces arrayed against her were too strong. Sometimes you have to break a bone so it can be reset. That's where the Inquisition comes in. It was to be the answer. A means to preserve as well as an agent for change. I only wish she had lived to see it.
How did you become the right hand?
So, what's the story about you becoming the right hand?
Sweet Andraste, do you really want to hear that? It was, what, 18, 20 years ago? Some still discuss it like it happened yesterday. The tale gets bigger each time it's told. I barely recognize myself within it now.
You're just being modest.
I'm sure you're just being modest.
I was there. I think I know what happened. To hear others tell it, I alone saved Divine Beatrix from a horde of dragons sent to assault the Grand Cathedral. Rather impressive for such a young seeker, wouldn't you say?
And the truth is?
I stumbled upon a conspiracy to kill Beatrix. A Templar Knight Commander was at its heart. And there was a dragon battle at the Grand Cathedral, but I had help from loyal mages who rallied to the cause. They freed the dragons from magical control. Without them, the Divine and I would both have died. Yet I became the right hand, and they are forgotten.
So what became of the mages?
What happened to the mages that helped you?
They went back to their circles, with rewards and privileges and most holy's gratitude. Many of them died at the conclave.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're still a hero.
I think you're a hero, no matter how you downplay it.
Fine. But it was 20 years ago. I will not rest upon my laurels.
So if that was 20 years ago, how old is she supposed to be? I don't know. Anyway, I think Cassandra is pretty awesome. I really like her character so far.
I'll let you get back to work.
Okay, let's see if she has anything else to say.